Good evening and welcome to Brown Radio. I am Gemma.
I'm Shannon. I messed it up. Oh God.
It's fine.
You know what I said before we came on air? This is the order that we're going to do it in. Good evening.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, we're going to start this again. Okay, everybody. Good evening. It's Gemma.
And I'm Silven.
And I'm Shannon.
And there's Helena. Okay,
And I'm
we're all
Helena.
here. Yeah, we're all here. As you can tell, this is what happens when Maple decides to take a break. And welcome to the Profound Radio. And we're going to be here for a little bit. We're going to be here a little bit shorter time this week, but we've got a lot to talk about. We've got our latest episode, which was Dog Dean Afternoon. And how are we feeling about that?
I have very mixed feelings about this episode.
Yes.
I feel like it was. I'm pretty sure this is because of the writers, but it felt very season 6-ish to me, and I'm pretty sure that's because the writers are writers who wrote during season 6. And but other than that, as an overall opinion, I didn't really have one on this episode because all it was to me was just a useless filler it's like the other ones that we have on every other season.
Yeah, I have pretty mixed feelings on it too. I agree with Shannon because obviously it was meant to be a funny episode, and with some parts I can agree, and some parts I could go with, but some parts I just didn't find that funny, and yeah, it was a filler episode. That's enough said.
Yeah, I feel like they were really trying to
I will be
push...
honest. I did not. I will be honest. Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Is
you.
my internet
Yeah.
screwing me? Pretty bad. Okay. Okay. Good. I will be honest. I did not really like it, but the biggest reason why I didn't like it in the first place is that a lot of the voice acting screwed it up for me completely. I mean, I could not. I literally couldn't take the animal voices. They were just.
Yeah,
I don't like dissing my favorite show, but this isn't dissing. That's critique. The animal voices, they were bad. Okay. They really were bad. They did not fit at all.
No, they didn't. And I think I agree with Jared there as well. I think Jared said a tweet as well. I was in a really two minds about it. The thing is, I kind of saw something really interesting, like when I watched both 9-4 and 9-5 with my mum last night, and we watched them with her. And there were two very light-hearted episodes, but one was how to do a light episode correctly and how to do a light episode wrong. And basically, let's say Slumber Party was how to do it right because there was a really good plot and it was tongue-in-cheek, where Dog Dean Afternoon just took the piss. And and also the poodle scene. I know a lot of people got angry with the poodle scene, but the way I saw it wasn't Dean feeling sexually attracted to a poodle. It was the dog that he was mind melded with, because Sam said the word mind melded. Mm-hmm. It was the dog that he found the poodle attractive. It was the Colonel that found the poodle attractive, not Dean. But it was more a case of I just cringed through that scene. I just didn't think it sat well, and with the voices, it just didn't sit well at all. I mean, if dogs were intelligent enough to read French and everything like that, then they are intelligent enough not to have those stupid voices.
Yeah, I feel like they just really tried too hard to push the comedy. Because I'm pretty sure next week's episode is going to be a very angsty episode. So they and they also gave us a pretty angsty filler with Slumber Party. Like, that was pretty
angsty.
That was shockingly angsty for something that was supposed to be a lighthearted filler.
This is true.
the thing is, at the end of the day, all these people getting really angry. It's a filler episode, you know. I'd be much, much worried if the state of writing was in a more plotty episode, that was what we were getting. It's a filler episode. You're not really going to remember much. It's not going to be up there on our favourites. It's not in the same, you know, like, league as, you know, Sacrifice or anything like that. So I think you've just got to kind of go, okay, they were smoking pot when they wrote this, and move on.
Yeah, it was, and I'm going to bring this up now because I know that we're going to have to talk to it eventually, and I really just want to talk about it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of just arguments going on about Sam's characterization. Not just Sam's characterization now in this episode, but Sam's characterization as a whole. I feel like a lot of people seem to think that Sam's character is being sort of butchered, and I can kind of agree with that, but I don't think it's being butchered unintentionally. Like, I don't think it's because of bad writing. I think it's because they are intentionally changing Sam because of the circumstances that Sam is in with Ezekiel. Because if you notice, Sam now and Sam at the very beginning of the season was very different. Like, you can tell that his character is completely deliberately being changed because of Ezekiel. I think Ezekiel is messing with Sam's
it's giving you little clues, really, isn't it? Because, I mean, if he wasn't possessed, Sam would just be on top of the dog. He would be like, oh my god, it's a dog, can we keep him? Yeah. And I agree with you. I think it's these subtle little changes that this is Sam being possessed. This isn't Sam being out of character. This is Sam being possessed by something.
And I know a lot of people got annoyed because it seems like every time Sam blacks out with Ezekiel and Dean makes something stupid lies, Sam just goes along with it. I don't see it.
No, I think he's starting to get suspicious.
I don't see it as Sam going along with it. I see it as Sam knowing something's up, but Sam not saying anything because he knows that if he does say something, he's just going to get more.
And the thing is, I think. Sorry.
Why are people getting annoyed with the characterization of Sam in that episode when the fact that he's acting different is the whole freaking moral
point? It's the thing is, I'm like, it's like
the only thing that's
it's the subtle little layers of Jared's acting that basically he's acting slightly out of character because he's being possessed.
The main thing that ties the big plot, like the B plot to the C plot of the episode, because the whole moral is realizing that the mind meld is affecting him, so probably Ezekiel.
It's all about him. It's all about, like, the thing is, if you're going to complain about our character, complain about Dean's out of character. He doesn't like dogs, and, you know, he's been ripped to shreds by hellhounds, and he's like, it's a dog, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
That's what the out of character you should, but at the same time, there's a theme going on this series. There is a massive theme going on this series of being possessed by something that you cannot control. So you're right, Silven, like the A and B C threads, like, because Dean's behavior was not his own. It was being controlled by something, like being possessed by something that he could not control, i.e. the dog behavior was not his. He couldn't control it. Same with Sam and Ezekiel. And also what Dean said, after this really cheerful episode, it ended very well with a nice barbarian of he was possessed by something that he couldn't control. Even the guy who was eating chicken livers and stuff like that, dog livers, and he ate freaking cats. He was being possessed by something that he couldn't control, and it seems to be this ongoing theme kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I think the reason most people just jumped up so suddenly about Sam's character is the reason why they did it with Cass, because as we can remember, and the trigger warning here, Cass mentioned suicidal tendencies back in season 8, and then it has not been addressed ever since. I mean, they just dropped a bomb that big, and it has not been addressed. And the same with Sam. They're afraid to, because Sam may have accepted Dean's offer to keep fighting, but I don't think Sam was nearly close to okay, psychologically speaking. But what you guys have to understand is that it's Ezekiel. The man is possessed. Ezekiel is probably making him feel because even Dean was surprised. Oh, I genuinely feel good, and Dean gave him that look because he knew it was Zeke here.
Yeah,
so
and it's like, why was everything already butchered? Very good point. I think he did his own butchering. To be honest, he's a chef. He's got knives. No, I just think it was an idea that they obviously had and just ran with far too quickly, and it just didn't make sense episode. But that's a filler episode, so what do you expect?
Mm-hmm.
But kudos to Jensen. I'm sorry, massive kudos to Jensen, because he obviously got this script and probably went, oh, for God's sake. But he went with it. He was one of my favourite scenes was the fetch. The fact that he was playing fetch and he didn't realise he was playing fetch. And it was just like the subtle little scratching of his ears. And he's like, what are you doing? I don't know. And it's just, I love that. And,
honestly, I think this is one of those episodes that was much better in writing than it actually turned out.
It must have been a good idea on the table, but not like... But,
Jensen saw that, and I mean, obviously everyone saw that and committed to it fully, but then some of the things that were layered on later, like the animal voices and everything, screwed the final product up.
Yeah, totally. Because
you know what I think would have been better if we actually did not hear the animals talk, but we saw Dean interpreting what they were saying.
Yeah. The thing is, there was good ways of doing it. I was thinking of films where it's similar. And, obviously not the Dirk Doolittle point where you can see the animals actually talking. But if anyone has ever seen What Women Want, and the voiceovers in that movie are perfect because he's just basically saying what they're thinking. And I would have gone down that route because if they wanted to inspiration, it wasn't any funny, stupid voices. It was just normally talking people. And if you've ever seen What Women Want, they could have done it that way. I think it was because of the fact that they did these accents and everything like that. It was too much. And if they just toned it down a bit, and just had somebody normally talking, then
it would have gone over better.
The voices were too... I don't know what the word is.
They were trying too hard, like Shannon.
Yeah, they were trying too hard, and the accents they were being like, "Rub my belly" and all that kind of thing. No, if they just did normal voices, it would have worked.
They were very cartoony, and because of that, it really took away the feeling of any kind of real trouble happening in the episode, because I couldn't take the villain seriously at all, no matter how many people he killed, because he just comes off as this, animal killer with the weird accent. And
I know. I mean, to be honest, I should have filmed my mum's reactions because she thought it was hilarious. You. She was crying at that part. She was crying at that part. But cut to the scene where he's actually eating a cat, and she's looking absolutely horrified. I'm like,
God,
did they have to show that? And I'm like, yeah, looks like it.
I think the cat eating scene was not bad in itself, but again, it just that villain.
What?
If he hadn't killed a person on screen, I wouldn't have seen a single moral problem with his actions, because it's very hard to take the animals seriously when they're talking like this.
I know.
Yeah.
The thing is,
I think that a lot of it comes from also not just from some of the actors overdoing. I think a lot of it comes from the directing of the episode.
Yeah.
Because I know that I know that directing plays a huge role in a lot of things like this. You can have an episode that has a really shitty script, but if it's directed well, then it can be a real episode. But what I think is, this may have had an okay script. But then the director probably wanted to take it in a more funny way, and he took it in that more cartoony way, and he really shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, it was just.
I feel like this episode should have been a lot more subtle. Than it was.
Harking back to the previous episode with the lightheartedness, but also plotty at the same time. You know, but the thing is, that was the problem. It didn't really have much of a plot. The thing is, it was a fatal flaw because the stupid voices didn't. This guy was using shaman, which is kind of respecting the animals, respecting their virtues of being speedy, of being able to break their own spine. That these animals were majestic enough that he was prepared to eat their organs, and then you have them having stupid voices. It doesn't follow true the story.
Yeah.
As
opposed to Hunter heroicity.
Yes, that was obviously the the
it had a better take on it.
Was that was how to do it right, in a way, and because I love Hunter Hiroki, but like it just didn't seem right that this man was taking the risk to, and you know, it just didn't seem right that these animals were being killed and obviously, you know.
It's just they tried to put together something sort of serious, you know, with Sam's thing at the end, and mythological. But you know, coupling that with trying too hard at humor, it does.
Yeah, I think they should possibly just try too hard.
Like, you know, the more I kind of think about it, like I'm on Wikipedia right now. I'm looking at other episodes this guy has directed.
All right.
And I kind of think that it's a pattern because he also directed the episode where like Becky date raped Sam.
Oh God, Time for a Wedding.
And then I forgot what episode. Then he also directed Buckner and Ross Lemming episode, but I'm pretty sure that episode's probably bad because of the writing.
I'm just.
He did one episode that he did that was pretty good was Southern Comfort. It was an Adam Glass episode from season 8.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I think
I enjoyed Southern Comfort.
I think it really depends on the script he gets, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, the thing is, also, it possibly was in the script about the accents. It probably would have been in there about, you know, pitching the characters of the dogs. Although, can I just say one more thing, and then I'm going to shut about this. There was one dog voice, and there was one star of that show, and that was the golden retriever going bacon, bacon, bacon. That dog made my week. I had a really rubbish day, and I came in, and all I heard was bacon, 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 and I was like, yes, I'm going home, bacon, bacon, bacon. Yes, because that is exactly how I imagine my golden retriever to talk.
I mean, there's obviously flaws with this freaking episode, and I can honestly talk all day about the flaws of this episode.
Yeah, but to be honest, when we were 20 minutes into the show, and we're talking about fillers.
I have to say, though, the accents probably were not scripting, because I can't believe they would put a villain is wearing, the villain is wearing a cowboy hat and is looking all southerny, but he's talking in this weird-ass kind of British accent.
I think he was.
Accent made so little sense to me. I don't believe they would put that in a script. I just think it was kind of...
I think the whole point of some of these accents was they were supposed to, shock you because, OMG, there's this really small dog talking with this thick sort of accent, and there's... And the thing is, it didn't even come off as shocking. It came off as something that has been done so many times before, and it just needs to stop. It's an awful trope that just needs to not happen.
Yeah,
it was like a folk cockney, and it was just... Ugh. Anyway.
Like the whole idea that appearances can be deceiving, but, you know, just...
But yeah, so really...
Don't try that hard.
So really, good points, Jensen. Although that dog was so cute. And the thing is, I know for a fact that Jensen and Jared with dogs, they would have just been like...
Yeah.
Oh my god. That would have been... probably was heaven for Jared. Jared just probably just spent the whole time just looking at dogs.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, he was like, dog. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Are we happy? Are we all set up pieces about Dog Dean Afternoon, or do you...
Can I say one more thing that bothered me before we go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
One last thing that bothered me before they went. I hated how they added that little useless line at the end where dogs aren't really supposed to be man's best friend. Dogs really put here, and then done. I'm just like, really? What was the point of that?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, I was a bit more offended because dogs are, I'm sorry, they are man's best friend. I was more like, well, what is it? And
I'm just thinking, unless it's going to be revealed later that dogs can turn into, giant angel killers or something, then don't add something like that into the episode.
I was like, what was the point of that?
Can I also just add in one more thing? Because, I feel like there's a kind of mood about this in fandom, and guys, yes, this episode was not a particularly good episode, but, as someone who does creative work, I can tell you, screwing one thing up does not mean that you're gonna screw everything else up.
Yes, thank you.
And that everything else sucks. Because, guys, as an artist, I get stable, good marks for my art. It generally gets praised, and people generally like it. But sometimes I make this one thing, and it sucks. sucks. Yeah. It sucks so much. It just
guys. I mean, let's think about it. Season 8 wasn't a perfect season. There were a couple of bad episodes in season 8.
Yep, and dare I say season 7.
Oh man, yeah.
There we go.
The season 7 itself should have just not happened.
Yeah. But so.
But you know, on the other hand, we would not have had the dick jokes. So.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Dick jokes always
dick
win.
Jokes the best. Like the only good, whenever I go through watching all of Supernatural, I'll watch all of season 6 because I can still bear season 6, and then when I get to season 7, I'll only watch the episodes with Cass in it because, in my opinion, those are the only good episodes.
And I mean,
sort of Bobby's death, but that's just because I like pain.
I refuse to watch that episode because I break down into tears. Okay.
Just Bobby dying.
Considering that you're Satan.
So we're gonna move on, and obviously this Tuesday we have Heaven Can't Wait, which we've got lots of. This week we got our sneak peek pictures and a sneak peek, and I think generally the consensus was that Misha looks really good in blue.
Oh yes.
But it really brings out the colour in his eyes.
Guys.
Mm-hmm.
I am so excited to see Cass as a sales associate.
I know! Yes. I am an angel of the Lord. I'm a sales assistant. Oh my god!
It's the best. It's amazing because when I was live texting the previous episode to someone and I said something that just it characterizes Cass for me. I'm sorry that only people who watch Game of Thrones will understand this, but I said Cass is as good at passing for a normal human as Loras is at passing for straight.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Yes. And the thing is,
he tries, but then he's like, "Oh, the gas and the food and the dress with the gold kid." And you're like, no. I'm just so excited about this episode because, I mean, Dean and Cass together and showing a picture of Cass as the shotgun in the car, and I was just like, yes. And I saw the preview, and obviously it's an angel, although I'm not particularly impressed with him being stabbed again by the looks of it. Stop hurting Cass, damn it. But then I saw the sneak peek, and the sneak peek, that looks so interesting with the Kevin and the angel tablet, and we're getting back on Mythark, yes!
Okay, can I say something?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know why I always say that. Of course I can say something. I'm a host. But anyways. I remember when it was like the end of the episode, and on my dash there was everyone asking why Castiel's getting hurt. And to me, I'm honestly not surprised that Castiel is getting hurt this season.
Yeah, true.
Honestly, the writers have been setting it up since episode freaking 1 that Castiel is going to get lots of pain this season.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
The entire Heavenly Host is after him. He has been kicked out of the bunker. He works as a sales associate.
Yeah. So
it's to the point where yes, it's really sad that Castiel is getting hurt, but it should not come as a surprise anymore.
Yeah, it's supernaturally.
That's true. Yeah.
He's got a few seasons to kind of catch up with the boys.
How can they realistically have that storyline without Cass getting really hurt? It's impossible because if he's being chased by the whole Heavenly Host and he never gets caught or hurt, that's just where's the action, man?
I will say that this is the one episode that Misha called a game changer. Remember?
Yeah. And the thing is,
makes me horrified.
Well, the thing is, I saw a few posts, and the thing is, I kind of agree with some of them. I agree with the concept, but at the same time, because I saw a lot of posts earlier on this week where they were showing that basically a lot of people were insulted with Cass failing with the slushy machine. And basically saying, why are they dumbing him down and everything like that? And why, he was an angel of the Lord and everything. And, he kicked ass for so many years. He was a strategist. He was and the thing is that, and the thing is, when I said to him, I said, this is what I said. I said, just because he was an angel, he would never have had to think about a slushy machine beforehand. He was this infinite being. And now he's become human and he's discovering that being human means you have massive flaws and that you're gonna do stupid shit. I mean, I wouldn't be able to work a slushy machine while on the phone. So how am I expected this angel who's only been human for a few months to do it?
I can't even work a damn slushy machine, okay?
You know, I wouldn't even know how to do it.
And I wouldn't even know how to do it. And you know how all those fuckers broke any kind of dispenser thing? It will break at some point, and it will be terrifying. I've seen a perfectly competent human being break a water dispensing machine, and it's spilling over everywhere, and the person panicking and running around. What is Cass first?
And I think a lot of this comes from people assume, like you've got like so many different fans of Cass. You've got people who are on one side where they think that since Cass is human, he's going to be this little baby angel that can't work anything. Then you've got people on this other side who think that since Cass was an angel, he should know how to work everything because he's been on Earth.
Well, the thing is, it's a very thin line. I think that that have all this.
I'm sort of just like, he's going to know how to work some things because he probably at some point as an angel who has been in a vessel has had to do certain things. But then you've got other things that he's never worked before, like slushy machines. And it's just, he can't be expected to know how to work them. I'm pretty sure he didn't sit there for like an hour and teach himself how to work a slushy machine when he was an angel.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the only thing is that, obviously, but I was seeing this and I was like thinking, well, he's obviously human, he's going to get flaws. But I do agree with some people that, obviously, like, by keeping on doing this, like, the thing with the toothpaste and this, you are kind of stepping into a bit of dangerous ground where you're turning him into a bit of a caricature of his own character. And I just think, yes, it's all right now because he's still quite a newbie, but I hope they kind of start toning it down and kind of getting onto, rather than the situational stuff, get onto the emotional stuff, get onto how he feels as a human, have conversations between him and Dean about how he feels about being human, how does he feel about pain, how does he feel about having a headache, how does he feel about, the situation with Abel.
But then I'm thinking that now that since he's human, they're trying to make Cass his own character, which is part of the reason why I think they've done it. They've made him so separated from Dean. They're trying to allow Castiel to grow as his own character. And we've been so used to him talking to Dean, but now
it's just a little bit too much, like, situational funniness, obviously, and not enough, like, how does he feel about what happened with Abel? How does he feel about, not having any direction? And also, I really do hope they follow through with this jilted lover thing. Why do we need to, I think we need to have a bit, like, obviously this is still episode 6, right? So it's still new. He's still a new human. He's still going to make up these little cock-ups. But we need a little bit more emotional response now, I think, and also how he's kind of getting on.
At the end of the...
I got a really good kind of metaphor for Cass in my head for generally how he deals with human stuff is that, like guys, imagine Cass is a chemist. Or a scientist, and he knows the whole elemental tablet by heart, but does not guarantee that he knows how every chemical substance in the world works and how every combination of element works, which is why, as an angel, yes, he has absolute knowledge of the basics of humanity, but that does not mean he will know how to work every single thing humans have invented or how to work every single human relationship. And that's the basis of it.
From his point of view, everyone comes with the excuse of he's been watching humanity for I don't know how long, but from his point of view, he's never had to act on neither the practical nor the emotional aspects of being a human. So maybe he's seen someone brushing his teeth, but dudes, I'm an angel. I don't need that, He wasn't going to...
Can I add on something to that? It's just sort of something that kind of bothers me. Like, I'm a fan of a bunch of like police procedurals and stuff like that, and a lot of things. And I kind of see Cass watching humanity as the same thing as a human being watching a television show. You can watch something and still not entirely know how to do certain things that they do. Like, I don't know how to delicately mince through particulates to find bugs. and tie that to a crime. And I'm pretty sure that Cass, he could have seen someone working a slushy machine, but he never really thought to teach himself how to do it. He never really thought, oh, I'm never gonna use this. It's just he was watching. He was not doing anything. Mm-hmm. It's a lot different to watch something than to actually do it.
Something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like I watch people do speed paints on live stream, like Mapal, and I don't know who else, probably a bunch of other people that I talk to. Everyone on Profound Radios does them all the time, and I can watch Mapal do that, and I can open up my own painting software and not be able to make a line.
I can't even draw a stick person, but I have the mental ability to want to. Insane art, but I can't. You know,
people just need to calm down.
Exactly, and
for a show example, Dean watches Dr. Sexy. Do you think Dean, after watching how many seasons are there of Dr. Sexy, knows how to perform a surgery?
Mm-hmm. Actually, technically, he did perform that surgery.
Well, yeah, but
yes, the Dr. Sexy verse, the Dr. Sexy.
Yeah, the
I
changing
watched
channels.
Scrubs for 8 seasons, and I have no idea what goes where. So I've been watching, but not actually practicing it. That's my
yeah. So also I saw a really interesting theory, and I think it's a stupid theory, and it'll not be the right theory, but you know how in the promo he says this is not an ordinary angel or something along those lines. This is not just an ordinary angel. I started screaming, going, "Oh my god, it could be Gabriel!"
Yes.
No.
And then I was like, it could be Gabriel. And then I got a bit excited. And I was like, wouldn't that be awesome? And then...
It's Gabriel.
It would be a bit early, though.
I know it'd be a bit early, but I was just like... and then I saw another promo, and basically it's a dude with blonde hair. And I was like,
oh yeah. They're bringing in so many new angels, aren't they? Weren't they going to bring in Malachi?
Yeah, I think this might be Malachi.
Yes. I think that this new angel is... probably an angel that probably worked for the Archangels and Naomi, and he was probably an assassin. I consider him like a sort of Secret Service angel. Like that's why his colors were off and his colors were different, because he was a different type of angel that we've never seen.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so it looks really interesting in this episode, and people are blowing up apparently, which is always good. And I'm really interested to see how this Robin Berens writes an episode as well. So
yes,
I'm really excited about this obviously, yeah.
And he has quite an important episode to write.
Oh God!
So I mean that he has written.
I can to see what he's like as a writer.
Yeah, I am intrigued to see, and yes, I have seen the little theory that goes around about Steve being Cass's name tag about because there was obviously Agents Banner and Stark, and him being Steve, Captain America, and obviously Captain America and Iron Man are in a ship, and yeah.
Oh yeah, someone mentioned that Malachi is Moon because it translates to angel. It translates to angel.
Oh God!
Oh my God!
If Malachi, I can guarantee you that someone's now going to start a meme where they're going to pause and take all of Malachi's dirt faces out of the episode and be like, "God damn it, Malachi!"
I'm sorry, but I'm now gonna be I am now never gonna call him Malachi. I'm just gonna call him.
What?
I'm not gonna call him Malachi. I'm just gonna call him Moon. Now for the rest of the season, I'm just
going to call him Moon. Think of all the Adam and Steve jokes after next.
Oh my God!
Someone mentioned it. Lauren mentioned.
I didn't even think of that.
The fandom's going too fast.
I am. Is anybody also really excited about the promo picture that kind of looked like things were a bit tense, with Cass's behind the counter?
Yes. Because,
and Dean is got his hands.
And also, we got a spoiler at one point that Dean and Cass will have a pretty intense talk in the car. And we've seen the car shots.
Yes,
the first one of Cass staring out the window, and then Dean just having the soul look. That's what I call it.
Oh my God! If this is oh my God! I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited to this now. Just thinking, because those pictures that the head where they're in the darkened street, and basically Dean's leaning over and touching Cass on the shoulder.
Yeah, and you know, I like the body language from the photo where Cass is leaning over the Impala. Talking about that angel, and Dean is just sort of leaning into him, you know, with his hand on the hood of the Impala, not quite reaching to Cass, but sort of going in that direction.
Yep.
It's like, come on.
Yeah, it looks so good, and I think, yes, Dean and Cass hunting together, and also actually quite exciting also for the Kevin translating into a language that doesn't exist anymore, and obviously they're gonna have to go and see Crowley. And
that was the sneak peek.
Yeah,
and I'm excited if they're going into Metatron spell territory.
And like maybe discovering about the spell and bring it. Bring it. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just
bring the pain.
Bring the pain. And I think this is it. I think now, like obviously after the last 2 episodes, we are now on to big ass pain. And the thing is, actually, we only have 4 more episodes before our hiatus. So enjoy every single one, guys. You know, really just because we're gonna have 5-6 weeks of no Supernatural, but we will have 6. Oh God.
Yeah, and there's talk of Nora in the chat.
Yeah.
And I just say, let's not overreact until we see what her actual deal is.
Wait, do people think like she's gonna be a love interest for Cass? Because I've heard that.
That's
I've
the
heard
speculation.
But
I've heard that, yeah.
Honestly, when I read her character bio, it does not scream love interest to me at all.
And I'm just sick of people just jumping into conclusions a bit. Like, and the thing is,
because I feel like that's one of just the fandom's major habits. It's not just about female characters either. They literally jump to conclusions about everything.
And actually,
no matter what it is.
Speaking of this, actually, thank you for saying that, Shannon, because it actually got me onto a point that I really want to discuss this week. And it's basically because I've seen a lot of posts and a little bit of negativity, and it's. I am a Destiel fan. I ship Dean and Cass, and I love them, and I really do think it will happen. And I'm not just saying this to make everyone feel better. I really do think it will happen. But there's been a lot of posts this week that I've been saying that basically, and it feels like every episode, there's a certain minority of the Dean Cass fandom that seems to take issue with things in the episodes and make it about Dean and Cass and make it about Destiel being canon. And it really feels like, I really want to say, the show's not only about Dean and Cass. I am a Dean and Cass shipper, and it's part of the show, but it's not all about the show. And they'll do it in their own time, and basically they're making everything that they don't like about Dean and Castiel, and it's like it just really feel like everything that's bad about an episode is it's because I haven't made Dean Cass canon yet. They'll do it in their own time.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep on saying that. I'm a host, of course I can. Anyways, I feel like a lot of it comes from because a lot of people started watching the show because of Dean and Cass. But I think what a lot of people need to realize is that Supernatural isn't that kind of show to begin with.
Yeah.
It's not a romance. It's not a show built around 2 characters falling in love. It is about monsters and hunting and myth arcs and plot. And I think that Dean Cass is definitely part of the show. It's definitely a something that I think is going to happen, but it is not. That is not what the show centers around. I'm with Pat. I'm more interested in a Cass story over a Dean Cass story. But what I am saying is, what I want a Cass story that handles the character well. I don't look at episodes and get pissed off when Dean Cass doesn't happen. I watch episodes and I get pissed off when they make characters do stupid shit that is not part of their character.
Can I just say that Shannon, I caught that bug from you. Of course I can say it, goddammit. The thing is, that whole argument about whether, it's not that kind of show, it gets a bad rap, but it's because, that argument has two sides. It's one thing when people say that something like bisexual Dean, something like Canon and SDL can't happen because it's not that kind of show. And that is utter bullshit, obviously. It's the most ridiculous arguments ever, because that argument in and of itself tells you that a badass hunting hunter can't be bisexual, or that, gay romance somehow doesn't belong in a show where there's a shit ton of straight romance. Not shit ton all the time, but come on, all the love interests throughout the seasons, there's been several of them.
Yeah, and the thing is,
what I'm saying is, I think that the show's not about romance, but it still can have romance in it. It's like Buffy. It's like
the thing is, I don't.
Part of the plot.
Yeah, I get it. What I was gonna say to finish is that, but it does make sense in the sense that the way that show is and the genre of it is going to affect the way those things are done.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that Dean and Cass are never gonna have a big, some sort of sweet romantic
relationship. It's not going to be romantic. It's going to be gritty. This is supernatural, people.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, it feels like, obviously, you kind of lose track of what the show is about. The show is about brothers hunting the supernatural. It's not about.
Yeah.
It's not out there to set. And to be honest, I don't actually think it's out there to. It's not a Glee show. It's not out there to set. Things right. It's not out there to kind of, and I think people are kind of, it's still with the whole projection thing, you're projecting your own personal views on a show that has just been made for entertainment purposes. So
doesn't mean Shannon and STL can't be a thing.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that they're not going to do it, and it doesn't mean that they hate,
even with and straight pairings, even with the ones that are most
the thing is,
did they have? Sam and Sarah had two sweet dialogue and they kissed on screen, and that's it.
Yeah. The thing is,
big epic romantic storyline. If they make STL canon, there's not going to be one, because they can't do that.
And yes, that's a very good point. It's never going to be your favourite STL fanfic. Supernatural's not going to do that. And but at the same time, just because they're not going out there with bisexual Dean and STL canon just yet, doesn't mean that they're necessarily won't. But also, it doesn't necessarily mean that the show is full of homophobic people that aren't going to do it. It's just, I think, my personal opinion is that they know it's there, they realise it's there, but they're going to do it with the most respect to their fans, and the most respect, they respect their fans quite a lot, and we are a family, and they kind of like it, that thing. And I think that because it's such a big risk to make, it shouldn't be a risk to make a canon character bisexual, but that's just the way the world is. One day it will be better, and maybe if they did it, it will make the world better. But they're going to be really careful about it because they don't want to do it wrong. They want to do it right. And I think that's what we kind of need to remember.
Exactly. And we're all very enthusiastic STL supporters here. And when because I myself am a believer, and when they decide to take it to the next level, it will not be, the show started on the premise of hunting on mythology, even if right now they're more with angel versus demons and stuff. The show will not suddenly revolve around the relationship, If they decide to go there, kudos, but that's not what the show is going to be about, We might get some of it in the background to allude to that, but not like a fanfic, because we can't expect that. They're barely just fighting to get it to that point.
And guys, it's not even, we're not trying to say that, it's bad to want a fanfic, sort of.
No.
What you gotta realize is
fanfic.
What you've got to realize is you've got to be realistic. You've got to look at the context of the show. Dean and Castiel are not going to be outwardly fluffy characters.
Yeah, they're not teddy bears.
No, they're not teddy bears. They are old, tortured, sad souls that only find comfort in each other. And yes, we could get a hug, we could maybe even get a kiss or something, but we're never going to get them waking up in the morning and smiling and nuzzling and giggling. We're not going to get that.
We might get that a little bit, but mainly in the supernatural universe. Probably in a dream.
They're a firm believer.
Probably in a gin.
STL can happen perfectly well within the framework of this show. But what could happen, even, totally within the framework of the genre is like Dean and Cass having angsty, oh my god, I thought you were gonna die sex. Yes, sure, but they are never going to go on a date. They are never going to go on a date, and this is what I mean. It's like, we can't expect date stuff, movie stuff, sweet stuff, anything like that stuff.
If they do go on a date, it will be very Dean and Cass, if you get what I mean. I mean, not a date in the sense of, oh, look, we're going out to dinner, we're dressing up, they'll just probably do what Dean tried to do in that episode. Let's just hit that burger joint a mile back, take some time off. And that will constitute as a Dean and Cass date, you know?
Yeah, but the hard part about that is that a lot of people watching are not going to perceive that as a date. They're just gonna be like, oh, two dudes went to burger joint.
Well, if they'll be canon by them, you know, maybe not. But, you know, it's just, of course we're supporters. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't think any one of us here would, we're all just throw a massive
I think it's going to be in context of the show, and the thing is...
But yeah, it's going to be in context.
The thing is, it's going to be like, it's character-driven show. We are, you know, it's about the characters, and I know a lot of people are really getting quite impatient, and they really want it now. They really want change now, and I'm all for change and getting more queer characters on television. And you know, and this is what I believe. But at the same time, I kind of want Dean and Cass to be true to their characters, and they're both kind of like a bit retentive when it comes to their emotions. So it's going to be a slow hog, and I know a lot of people really, really, really want it now. And I really, really want it now. I want to get wall bam slamming and having lots of babies. Well, that's impossible. But anyway, I think I want it to be true to their characters. I want it to be a story between them. And, you know, maybe that is romantic in itself. Not necessarily
romance, but like tense. Can I bring up something that I saw in the chat and that SDC fan sent to us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A prime example of a really sort of bad relationship, a really sort of romantic relationship in the show that brought it to the fluffy sort of romance that generally hadn't been in the show very much before was Sam and Amelia. Their entire romance was incredibly fluffy and unrealistic to me.
Yes, it was unrealistic to the show. It didn't fit well.
It didn't fit with the show well at all. And I totally got that vibe when I saw it, and it's sort of just I don't want that to happen with Dean and Cass. I don't want them to have that sort of fluffy romance.
And
I want it to be part of the show. I want their romance to be a part of the show, an extension of the show that I love. I love Supernatural because it's gritty, because it's about monsters, because it's people going around fighting and killing things. I love that part of the show, and I don't want the show to change to fit to a romance. I want a romance to be blended into the show and how the show works.
Amen, Shannon. And because we've had such a nice character build. I mean, look at how far Dean has come, and Cass still has to get in touch with human emotions, and this will happen. Trust me, guys. But would you not rather want it to happen slowly and well done rather than just it being pushed on us and completely out of character? Because I know some people will not appreciate it. And judging by how well Dean has evolved up until this season, and we've seen a lot of hints and a lot of clear facts that Dean did evolve. And now it's Cass's turn because he's newly human and he's just starting to realize what his feelings are, what's the name to put. He's starting to realize that he has to put a name to each emotion. And when they do eventually start growing and growing more, and it will evolve beautifully. It will be a beautiful story. We just have to be a little patient and not throwing names at one another or getting... I understand why people are upset, but
I think
just have some patience and let's not blame each other because at the end of the day, we're not the ones writing the show.
The thing is, at the same time, I kind of think, yes, we're still feeling a bit gently wounded about 9-3, and it's whether you want it to happen really fast or not, it's not going to happen. If you want it to happen right now, it's clearly not going to happen fast enough for you. It's not going to. And it's not going to be if you want it now, it's not going to be happening fast enough for you. So I think, but at the same time, constantly getting aggravation and everything every episode that airs because we're not getting it right now is not going to help Supernatural in the long run, because obviously this negativity and obviously some of the bad writing has caused some bit of a bit of a dip in the ratings, and then these negative posts come out about the ratings. Yeah, and the thing is, perfectly understandable the bad writing, but then you see all these posts coming about saying, "Oh, this is that, this is really bad. This is blah 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 blah," and that in itself creates more bad press. And then obviously people above will start noticing that we're not happy, the ratings aren't good, and that's when the show starts to go down a slippery slope. And if you think about it, if we keep on really causing aggravation because we're not getting anywhere really, really quick right now, as in I want the kids next week, then we're not going to get the show for season 10, and we're not going to get canon full stop. So we're not, either way, we're going to lose. Do you know what I'm kind of saying? Do you know what I'm getting at? Like, basically, if we rush it...
And in the context of how it's going to happen, I remember, because I wrote it down, Honeybees, the user Honeybees mentioned a while back in the chat that couldn't the love story be a myth arc? And, if we're patient enough and we get enough character development, we will see something of the sort, maybe with Metatron's spell, because some people speculated, and to the point, might I add, that the third element for that spell was the grace of an angel in love with a human. So who knows, they might work towards that, towards the end of season 9. But we need a bit more character development.
Yeah, we do. It just make no sense to them just to kind of and I'm sorry, Maya Luna, I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but that is the most polite response I've seen tonight. 9.3 irked me. I'm sorry, that is the most polite response to 9.3 I've ever seen in my life. Irked me. I think a lot of other words could be used, but that has just made me smile. Just saying 9.3 irked me. Yes, it did. It irked me too. And I think
I do agree with Tom with what he's saying. Honestly, I think we've been patient. We have been really patient. I would really love to see it happening this season instead of maybe waiting next season.
Yeah, I know, but
maybe towards the second half.
I want this passionate love affair that is really slow build and lots of misunderstandings and lots of, maybe they kiss and then they kind of go, we're not going to talk about it. No. And that's kind of because they're emotionally stunted.
And if you remember, what was it? Episode 4. Yes, it was in episode 4. Dean just started to admit, we've seen the road of Dean admitting to himself that, yes, maybe his feelings towards Cass are a bit different. And just this season, in episode 4, we've seen him admit to Sam. You can play on that in any way you want. That, no one wants him here more than I do. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a huge step, because even platonically, I don't think he would have just out of the blue, told everyone, yes, I need Cass more than anyone, And
I'm just going to say one more thing, because there was someone in the chat who's asking this. Someone was asking what we thought about whether this season is a no-homo season. I do not think it is a no-homo season. I think there are some writers that are trying to make no-homo episodes and then failing at them.
Yeah.
Yes, and clearly failing because...
903 with the racist truck people.
Yes, and then they clearly the thing is they were like, oh, no homo, and then Cass died, and then the actors were like, threw that no homo out the window, down the street, like, fuck you, no homo. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, they seemed, even their acting at one point seemed off because they were not.
It was like
they know that characters better than anyone, and it's just so.
It was like, oh my god, this episode is the most biggest no homo ever, and then they get the most bestial scene ever at the end of the episode, and I'm like, yeah, they failed on that one. They failed so bad at their own writing that they failed their own no homo arc. Well done.
I just really feel like, yes, there are probably going to be writers I feel like that's going to be the main problem this season. This is my honest belief. I think that that the writing is extremely divided in the show right now. I think we've got writers who are all for making Destiel go in canon, and then we've got writers who are completely against it. And I'm pretty sure that we've got Robbie Thompson on one side and the racist truck people on the other. But then we've also got to think. Now we've also got the actors, and personally, I think the actors are completely okay with it because of the way they have been acting their characters.
Oh god, yeah. They're acting like they're in love with each other, for God's sake. Yeah, Jensen was acting like he's in love. He's in love, damn it.
Yes, they know what they're doing. They're good actors. We have seen this. We have seen what great actors they are. And beside that, they know their characters better than anyone else.
Yes, Tom, sorry. Phil, I can't pronounce, is it Screecher?
Phil Screecher, I think.
Yes! Oh my god!
He's on our team!
Yes, he so is. Oh god, that commentary with
that director is gold.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like...
Clearly.
And really, I think what's going to end up winning the battle is the episode ratings. Because fans are already starting... Fans are already starting to know which episode. Like, honestly, it's sad how jarring it is. You can tell which writers are for it and which writers are against it. And I feel like what's going to win out the Destiel battle is the fact that all the episodes that are really well written, that have great plot points, are generally the Destiel heavy episodes that are written by writers like Robbie Thompson. And then you've got shitty episodes that are written by people who don't know how to plot, who try and completely change the show, who I want to punch in the freaking face.
Oh my god!
Shannon! It's really southern when he gets angry.
The thing is, I love the fact that because I'm a big Misha supporter. It's no big lie that I'm a big Misha supporter. And when I got made up to season regular last year, I was like, oh, look at all those little Cass haters. Look at their tears. And have you noticed that basically every episode with Castiel in is when the ratings kind of go up? And every episode where Cass is not in an episode, the ratings kind of go a bit waverly. And then every episode where, it's Dean and Cass, and the ratings go back up again. And it's just like, yeah, Misha, darling, thank you. Thank you for... And I still think that if you're a fan, and if you want... I know it's kind of bribery in a way, and it's my way of saying it, that we need to keep... Even if we're some certain parts... We can have constructive criticism, and certain parts of the show will always annoy us. But we still need to support the show, because if we want Dean and Cass to happen, we need to have a show for it to happen on. So, we need to keep on supporting it, because it'll probably be the new year that they'll start looking at the figures and whether they're going to pick it up for season 10. And if we want, Dean and Cass, we need to support them and kind of get season 10 so that we can have a big epic gay love story.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we've exhausted the topic. Has anybody got anything else to say?
I just got a slew of spoilers
from
SDC fan. First of all, well, they're not really spoilers. They're summaries. That's what they're called.
Well, I've got summaries on the. I've got summaries on the agenda, darling.
Oh, well, we've got an episode title. Do we have that?
Yep.
Oh, the 12th episode.
Yeah, never mind. SDC fan, thank you.
Okay. This is we're going to go on to a bit more fandom news about the promos. But obviously, if I miss anything from SDCC fan, Shannon, just interrupt, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, we got a promo for 9.8, which is called Rock in a Hard Place. And basically, it says Sam and Dean reunite with Sheriff Jodie Mills, guest star Kim Rhodes, calls Sam and Dean for investigating multiple murders in her small town. Discovering all 4 victims belong to the same church chastity group. Sam and Dean decide to infiltrate by joining the group themselves. When Dean disappears, Sam and Sheriff Mills realize whatever they're hunting has taken Dean too, and team up to rescue him by OTP. John McCarthy directed the episode, which is by Jenny Kine.
Okay. I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious that the bad guys are a chastity group.
I'm sorry.
But I'm just picturing a bunch of sexually frustrated people going around killing people because they.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. There's some things that are shouting out to me that say awesome for me right here, right? Okay. Obviously, Jodie Mills, awesome. Dean joining a chastity group, even though he has been quite chaste, I have to admit.
That's true.
Dean being kidnapped. So Dean is actually the victim. Oh my God. A virgin victim. Okay, chase victim. And also, that means that Jodie and Sam are working together and my little ship is sailing! Yes! I ship Jodie and Sam so much!
If he and Jodie get together, she will die.
Okay, yes, calm yourself. Calm yourself, Satan. She might be the girl that breaks the curse. Okay, so
hold on, but we don't know. We don't as of yet know if the people in the chastity group are the ones killing. We just know that the victims belong to that group.
Can I just say, Sam and Dean joining a chastity group?
I'm sorry.
They give me the same feeling that I would get if Sam and Dean showed up in priest outfits at my doorstep, which is, my God, my friend got me strippers.
Oh my God, that's just like...
All my friends know all my kings.
I'm just like, believe. Oh my God.
Damn it, we lost Jim.
I'm just picturing them sitting in a nice little circle talking about, how chaste they are. And Dean's probably like, yep, I haven't had sex in quite a few times. And then there's Sam going, I got loads. And then, but like, just, where the hell did they come up with these ideas? What 30-year-old and 34-year-old? Oh my God. I'm sorry, you have lost me. But it does look good, and I'm pleased for Jodie's back, because I love Jodie.
Yes. So
I love Jodie so much.
And I'll be keeping my fingers crossed the same way I did with Charlie, that she survives another episode.
Age ain't nothing but a number. Jodie is not too old for Sam. Sorry, age is nothing but a number. If the attraction is there, it's there. Yeah. Sorry.
Who the hell even says that? Like, Jodie is a beautiful woman. I would so hit that.
I know it's kind of wrecking my Jodie Crowley ship, but Crowley did try and kill her. So
it's sort of just I guess it's just sort of a preference thing. I mean, I can see how some people would think that Jodie might be too old because the actress who plays Kim Rhodes is like 10 years older than Jared. So
I'm sorry. It's all right for an older man to go with a younger woman, but when it's an older woman that goes with a younger man, it's suddenly so wrong. It's not.
Yes, and I have to agree with Maria. Jodie were played, so that's why she's still alive.
I'm sorry, Kim Rhodes is hot. She's smoking hot.
She is.
And the thing is, 10 years. But yes, thank you. Anyway, but yes, that looks really interesting, and it's. I think it's airing. That's 9/8, so it's the end of November. That episode.
Okay.
And actually, I want to read out this because this was a really interesting little article from Huffington, which I don't know if it's been touched on before, but there was I found these really interesting spoilers for Bad Boys, which is 9/7.
Okay, yeah.
And basically, this is really, really interesting kind of thing. Obviously, Supernatural Execs have been teasing a young Dean flashback for quite some time, and it looks like that the viewers will finally get to see it in Bad Boys. Sam uncovers a shocking revelation when Dean gets a ghost-related call from Sonny, an old friend who runs a home for delinquent boys. As it turns out, Dean spent some time, unbeknownst to Sam, after getting caught stealing food. So basically, this is what Jeremy Carver has said about it. He says, I would just say that I'm going all the way back to episode 1 of the series. As we've always seen Dean Winchester, in terms of his approach to life, approach to hunting, that it might not have always been like that. So basically, could this mean that Dean was more like Sam at one point, perhaps desiring a way out of the hunting lifestyle that often left the Winchesters without money or a place to stay? Or was he more criminal in nature and less morally focused on fighting for the safety of others and distinguishing himself between good and evil? I think... And basically, it's a really interesting little post, and I'll post it on the profile blog, but basically, it's basically saying that he's takes out the time to look up an old film called Robin. And Robin's now in her 30s, owns a father's diner, and had some form of romance over 20 years ago.
Yes, and I am very excited.
Summary.
Yeah, well, there's a very brief summary, but this is kind of giving you a few more clues, I think, because Jeremy Carver's giving you a bit more clues about, obviously, like, what he was doing. Maybe Dean wanted, you know, a different life.
Well, of course, you know, because, and of course he would care about having a family life. I don't see, you know, we've seen Hunting take Dean to this place, and I'm not even going to get into how John Winchester played into that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting to see because, yes, after season 8 especially, like I mentioned, Dean is coming more into his roots. And this will be an interesting take on it to reveal to casual viewers maybe that, yes, Dean had other things planned for his life before Hunting took over, and that he may still want these things. And can I just say, I am excited for this Robin to make an appearance because mainly because of the actress, because I've been hearing that the actress who plays Robin is Erin Carpla. I don't know I know her from a show I used to watch called Being Erica. And I've seen her in more movies, and she is a lovely person, and I think she'll bring her best game to this role. And I'm excited for that, completely unrelated.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see I really want to know who's going to be playing young Dean. Because obviously all the previous actors can't, like, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Guys. This is about the last episode we were talking about, the one with Jody Mills in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of nervous about this episode because I'm looking at the Wikipedia thing, and the only other episode that Jenny Klein has ever written was last season, Torn and Frayed.
Oh God! Am I gonna have to prepare to see Jody die?
Oh no!
So, guys, if it's going to be anything like Torn and Frayed,
like, no. It's not necessarily going to be on the same level of angst just because the same writer wrote it, and well...
Yeah, I know. I was
it's just a week before hiatus. It's fine. Maybe get some tissues in just to be prepared. You know, always, you know, plan for the worst, hope for the best. So, so get some tissues in, get some chocolate in, get your tea.
I know. Get your tissue. I love Torn and Frayed too. It was amazing.
Get your nice little onesie on, your little duvet. You know, and you know, if it's not so painful, then that's great. You've got all this nice, warm, fluffy stuff and chocolate around you, and some tissues when you next get a cold.
Yeah. I honestly think that she's just gotten the chance to write a comedic episode because it sounds like a comedic episode.
Yeah, it does. I mean, nothing that bad can happen.
Probably another filler episode, and that it's going to be really funny. Like, she may be able to write really good comedy on top of being able to write hard.
If she can do that, she might be a new good writer to know. Yeah, but I think we're gonna have a good run. We are gonna have a really good one because we're gonna have obviously having Can't Wait. We're gonna have Bad Boys, and then we're gonna have Jodie back with Rock in a Hard Place. So, those 3 episodes that we've got for the next 3 weeks are really gonna be good. And I call obviously then after that episode we're on to mid-season finale, which obviously a lot of people have seen a lot of pictures about of the guys filming, and with Curtis Armstrong, Metatron. So I think Metatron's back in that episode.
Yeah.
So we've got a really good run now. I think it's before Christmas. We've got It's gonna be so good, and I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit there, you know, like you said, plan for the worst,
hope for the best. Yes, that is my general motto for anything. You know, hope for the worst, but plan for the worst, hope for the best, and
yes,
it's always worked for me.
Yep, that's a good strategy.
You know, and actually, I have to hold my hands up. I got a bit pissed off at first when I saw the whole poodle scene, and then I kind of rationalized it a bit. And I was kind of going into Dog Dean Afternoon thinking I was going to hate it. And it wasn't that bad. I thought when I came out of it, I was like, hey, actually, that wasn't too bad. And I actually went back on my blog and held my hands up and said, I have been one of these overreactionary fans who wrote off an episode when I said I would never write off an episode ever. I'm now like, you've just got to say things a bit more rationally. I do. I like kick myself in the butt. And, you know, but yeah.
Yeah, to me it's just if the scene is even if it okay, it was a mind meld, but that scene just it wasn't funny to me. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, it wasn't funny.
I
It
mean,
was
I
more
thought,
cringe.
oh,
But
ha
if you
ha
just
ha, he's checking out a dog.
the thing
No,
is,
it's just
it was more a case of like it was just a bit more cringe-worthy. Like, why did you really need that?
yeah,
If you really look
I
down to
laughed.
it, if you really look down to it, if you just take away the whole dog thing, it's a man checking out a woman. How sexist is that?
And like no,
hmm
it's. I have seen people talking about how they're making fun of bestiality, and it's like, no, guys,
yeah.
the whole
Is
point
it
of that
Silven?
scene is that this isn't Dean feeling anything.
It's the Colonel.
He was playing
Yeah.
fetch and barking at a postman and saying that no, no, I don't want to sniff butts. It's meant to be a dog thing. It's not meant to in any way make fun of
To
bestiality.
be honest,
Yeah,
they could have gone a
exactly.
lot more extreme. They could have had Jensen humping people.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Think about it, because my dog is a randy little bugger.
oh God, that would like.
It's
Yeah.
really gonna go sick. It's really gonna go sick, 'cause that's how sick they could have gone.
Man, Gemma, whenever you laugh, I think of the Halloween episode.
Oh, I'm
yes.
sorry.
And yet,
Oh God, stop!
hold on, hold on. Tom made a good point. He said that I don't buy that it was a literal mind meld because he wasn't thinking the dog's thoughts.
He was just
Ooh,
it was picking up the behavior of the dog. It was
can
just
I? Yeah, I think it was. I think that it was definitely a more. It wasn't a complete mind meld, but I do think that it connected them in a certain way to where Dean was forced to feel what the dog felt.
he was just picking up the behavior of it because he was mind melded. He was mind melded with the dog to pick up what he was saying, but he wasn't completely mind melded, and he was picking up the dog's behavior. That's how I picked it up.
It was sort of like an
confuses me.
instinctual / behavioral meld.
Did anybody see the fan art that was going around where basically Dean was peeing and everything that he was that was his? And then also, like, I saw one where basically he was peeing on the parlor, he was peeing on his gun, and Sam was like, "Why is his gun wet?" And he's just peeing on everything.
Oh my
That was
god.
his. And then I saw another one where basically Dean's found Cass, and basically going, "Look, Sam! Look, Sam!
Oh
I found
God,
Cass!
the one
I
where he
found
starts
Cass!"
humping ass.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then I was just crying when I saw those. I was just like, "This fandom makes me weep."
With the mind meld thing, I actually also kind of think it went both ways because the way the dog was talking,
Yeah,
it was very deep-ish kind of
douchebag.
Yeah.
exchange because he
I'm
was
just-
making all the puns and everything.
I
agree, Jen. Poodles are very unattractive. I don't like poodles.
Yeah, I just skipped through that. I didn't laugh, man, because they meant it to be funny, but to me it wasn't funny.
It was just another case
Quite
of showing how they just didn't get the funny right. And if you can't get the funny right, you're not gonna get the episode right.
And Jen said, "Why not a cocker spaniel?"
Cocker spaniels
Or a
are
husky.
pretty. Hey,
Or a husky.
excuse me. You could have had a nice little cockapoo or whatever,
Labradoodle.
Golden retriever,
Aren't we
yes.
talking about the
Golden
dogs that
retriever.
Dean could have noticed.
Golden retriever, bacon, 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 bacon.
Somehow we always end up here.
I'm sorry, I love that bacon dog far too much. Because I was like, oh, a little bacon dog.
Yeah.
He's free. Although I have to admit, all those dogs would have been probably put down in this country for killing a bloke.
Oh God, yeah.
Sorry
Yeah.
to bring the mood down,
Well,
but they
it
would
really
have been
depends.
killed.
I think that they probably were able to cover it up. Sam and Dean were.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to move on from that,
Yes.
to other fandom news,
Yes.
there was Misha and E4K.
Yeah. He did it. Obviously, if you were online last weekend, you would have seen a lot of tweets coming from Misha dressed in what can only be described as Eve's costume from season 6. And he suited it. He suited that Diana outfit, and he basically ran. He couldn't swim. I think something happened that he couldn't do the swimming, and he did running instead, and he kept on posting these little pictures of him in this Diana uniform.
Yes.
But also, what I found was really sweet was that people were going to meet him on his route.
Yeah.
And he they were running with him, and he obviously stopped with pictures and everything. And Sasha was there, and I just think it was great. And obviously Osric did his live stream, and I think they raised a lot of money. I think they raised like over $30,000, and I mean it's brilliant.
That's awesome, yeah. And we've seen this from Casey. Casey, our host from Hunting Hour, caught up with Misha and Sasha.
Yeah, and that was just amazing. And and obviously Osric decided to tweet through the episode the other night his first fanfic, which I advise all of you to go read, because it is such stellar stuff. And yes, Jen, we are like getting to everything. As Jen has said in the chat box, he was on Hunting Hour just briefly on Wednesday night. So if you haven't listened to it, go check it out, because he's on for a couple of minutes. He comes on, little Osric, a friend of the show now. And
there was also Osric's live streaming.
Yes, Osric's live streaming of games. I have no idea what the game was called. I'm afraid I'm not really a gamer. Does anybody know what game they were playing? Because I have no idea.
I read it somewhere, but the name escapes me right now.
I can't remember.
Maybe.
And obviously, Jen's mentioned it in the chat box as well. It is on our agenda. I had put it on the PCAs. Obviously, the nominations have come out. Disappointingly, that there was a lot of people voted for Dean and Castiel, and it never got counted. That's very disappointing. But I think a lot of it has also got to do with the network. If the network doesn't want you going forward for something, they might not want you going forward. I have no idea. Well, it could be just the PCAs being PCAs. Yeah. But on the other hand, you guys got to go vote, because we've been nominated for Sam, Dean, and Castiel being best bromance. We have
I think there's a post going around saying that they did a coin toss or something.
Yes, and it's now Jensen. It's Jensen.
Because guys, just go and try and vote for
Jensen.
Because I'm pretty sure that if we're really divided, then we're not going to win anything.
Really, yeah. So basically, the ones that have been nominated for best sci-fi show, which is obviously Supernatural, best romance, go vote, and best actor, which is obviously Jensen. So they've done a toss-up because they asked people to vote for Jared last year, and they're asking people to vote for Jensen this year. And I think it would be really nice for Jensen, because it's been such a nice little year from we're having JJ, that if he got, if he got best actor, it would be a really good little thing for him. So go vote. I don't know actually when it closes, but just vote.
Yeah. And Lauren asked, what do you mean not counted like the votes? Basically, the fandom nominated Dean and Cass because they said that if enough votes are cast for a couple that isn't on the list, because apparently, how many years was it when the Vampire Diaries, Nina Dobrev, was a write-in and she made it to the nominations, but obviously Dean and Cass didn't, so...
I think that there was certain... The thing is, I'm not entirely sure of the whole facts, but apparently there's one story going around where they had loads and loads of things, but they weren't obviously counted, and there's another story going around that obviously that just wasn't enough compared to others that were voted in that category.
Yeah.
So, but yes, go vote for Jensen, go vote for Sam, Dean, and Cass, because I think that would be great if we won Best Bromance. Yes. Nothing says bromance like the Winchester Boys. And I'm classing Cass as a Winchester boy.
Yes, indeed.
And vote for Supernatural, because we need to keep it up. We need to keep it up because we won last year, we need to win this year, so.
Yeah.
Although they have taken away the Fandom Family this year, which is really annoying because we won it last year, and the guys were really so happy about us winning Fandom Family last year, and they've taken it off the categories. It's so annoying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, go vote. Sorry, I'm just trying to clear my throat because my voice is going a bit funny again.
You were saying earlier about the episode naming. We apparently have the name for episode 12.
Yes. Now, I have no idea whether this is the one that was meant to be called Let the Fat One In. And I think it's either been renamed. It's now Sharp Teeth.
Or was it episode 13 that was called Let the Fat One In?
I think it might be, but the episode 12...
I want to know why they're writing an episode about me.
Episode 12 is going to be called Sharp Teeth. Okay, so I think that might have something to do with something with sharp teeth. Look at my deduction. Sherlock has got nothing on me. So yeah.
Ooh, if it's called Sharp Teeth, what if it's about Leviathan?
Oh my god!
Or vampires, you never know.
I hope it's not vampires. I am so tired of freaking vampires.
It could be werewolves.
You know, it would make sense because if episode 12 was originally named Let the Fat One In, and then they change it to Sharp Teeth, because, you know, there's that vampire movie, I think, called Let the Right One In.
Yeah, and I love. Actually, that would make sense because it is a vampire movie.
Oh my god!
Benny's dead.
Yeah, we don't really know that for sure, though.
I know didn't have a moment, isn't it?
It's supernatural.
It's that post that goes around on Tumblr. Has everybody seen it? Where basically shows you everybody shows the deaths of the angels, but the one that we'd never believe is that Gabriel's dead. We completely ignore. They show all the angels dying, you know, and then
apparently 913 is Let the Fat One In.
Oh, they're gonna rename that.
Guys, what if it's the episode? You know, the title is to something like a trickster. What if that's it? You know, that's the episode.
Yeah.
Big reveal.
I really hope that they might rename that because they renamed Doggy Style, didn't they? So.
Yeah, I would need an explanation for that.
I was out for a second. What's going on?
We're just talking about renamed episodes and stuff like that. So yeah, and yeah, just oh my god, just let the fat one in. No.
Oh yeah, I just want to know.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which,
what's the story behind?
Have you talked about the title for 12? I think it was 914 that we got.
No. What is it?
Because let me just look it up. I saw it earlier. Just a second. It will be called Nowhere to Go But Down.
Oh, for God's sake!
Oh man.
Nowhere to go but down.
Really? That episode's going to be about oral sex.
Oh my Shannon. Shannon, I didn't think of it actually.
Shannon, seriously, do they just like to have pain?
But come on, for once Shannon alluded to a positive thing.
Yeah,
yes, and
or something going down to hell again. I thought you guys would have much rather wanted the oral sex thing.
Yeah, because I thought about the cage as well, so.
That's the first thing I got out of it. I was like, oh, for gutter-minded people like me, are they really just picking out all the titles on purpose? Because, I mean...
Oh, gosh.
Or guys, what if Cass gets into hell?
Oh, Satan, shut up! And then he has to rescue him, and that would be a great parallel, wouldn't it? If he went to hell.
Oh no!
Dean goes rescues him,
Dean
and then
Dean can't go into hell unless he's going after Adam. I'm sorry, that can't happen.
Well, no,
that can't happen.
The thing is, yeah, and it's oh my god.
Marie saying maybe angsty oral sex.
Maybe angsty oral sex. Yeah.
You know, anything can happen at this point.
Yeah.
Silven,
I'm the one that gripped you tight. Yeah, that could be a
my god.
I am the one that gripped you tight.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Tom,
I really hope my mum is not listening tonight because yeah.
Tom, I would like to see a trickster pretending to be Loki as well. An actual elder god, yes. Played by Spike Jr., of course.
Can I just say something that honestly bothers me?
Well,
I feel like a lot of people think that the angels are going to get put out of the cage.
No.
Because I always see that, every time there could be something that could be alluded to hell, or every time there is something that could...
Lucifer and Michael, that storyline is finished.
You know, hold on, we just celebrated yesterday over here, we just celebrated the archangels, Michael and Gabriel. I'm taking that as a sign.
And,
Yeah, but
they
would need.
I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see what happens with Bartholomew.
Yes.
I'm really interested to see what happens to him. I wonder if he's coming back or when he is coming back. But I'm intrigued to see what happens with him, and I'm intrigued to see what happens with this whole spell and the tablet and the tracing the language, because obviously that's Kevin's new task on the next episode. I'm interested to see whether they. And the thing is, it's just kind of tying back to what Cass said, that if he's the key to chucking everyone out of heaven, that he might be the key to getting everybody back in. And I'm really intrigued to see where this might go. Whether they're as clever as some of the fans is another thing.
If they do want to pop open, no pun intended, the Cage story, and possibly, I've mentioned it so many times about Endverse, because yes, we do always end up there. But if they wanted to actually get into the Cage thing, they would need to sort out everything first.
Yeah, and I don't think
let me say this. Can I say this one last time?
Okay.
Because I still hear it all the time, and I'm just like, guys, stop. Ezekiel is Ezekiel. He is not Lucifer.
What happens if he comes out like in episode 20 that he is? Are you gonna come on and make an actual apology on air?
If he ends up being Lucifer, I'm going to come on air and I am going to go on a tirade, because that would be the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life, because obviously these writers have no idea how Lucifer actually works.
Yeah, but can I just also say, but like on a tangent of little random thoughts that I was thinking about, Cass being the key. It just meant, how Misha's let out that he's going to get possibly some of his powers back. It might be just Misha trolling in the interview, but it might just be interesting to see where this is going to go and what Dean's reaction might be to that. I just want to see a bit more of Dean's reaction to Cass being human, and I think we might get that this week. And I'm just I'm excited, but I'm rather cautious, but I do actually want some reaction to Dean. I want Dean to turn around and say, "Hey Cass, how's it going?" And maybe Cass being a bit annoyed because he's been chucked out the bunker. But I want that kind of human.
I feel like it'd be. I can already picture fan artists making like comics like, "So Cass, how's it going?" He's like, "I don't know, Dean. How's it going with you? I mean, you have showers.
You have good pressure."
Sleep." Just sort of, I can see them over dramatizing Castiel's facial expressions, and then Dean just like getting really, really depressed, and it makes me smile.
Oh my, yeah, of course it would make you smile. Yeah, but I definitely think, especially that Cass is now a human, and he's still learning about emotions, and I think, I don't think he will let this one go as lightly as he has, for example, when he was an angel. So, not for a long time, but for that episode, we might see some upset Cass.
I just want a bit more humanity.
Yeah, I want him to be angry, because it would make sense. Yeah. Like, I don't want him to hate me. Like, I don't want him to be overtly bitter, but I do want him to be annoyed.
Because it would be like a really first time to see like a bit of pity Cass, and that's a first as well as like the whole like slushy thing. It's also seeing Cass react in a way that he wouldn't necessarily have reacted to, like as an angel, being annoyed, being aggrieved. And I think...
And I wanted to talk it over with Dean, which we apparently are getting. I mean, I don't know what they're going to be talking about yet, but there is spoilers of a big talk, which is
in the car, yeah.
Bring it, I'm so freaking excited!
It makes me really happy, because, like, remember when the front seat of the Impala was only, like, Winchester talks, and now it's Destiel talks? And I feel like I'm going to be watching the episode, listening to Dean and Cass talking about heartbreaking things. I'm just going to be sitting there. Like, have y'all ever seen that gif of that kid from, like, he's got, like, his arms are out, and he's just smiling because of how cute he is.
Yes!
That's how I'm going to be when they're, like, Dean and Cass are talking about really angsty shit in the front seat of the Impala. I'm just, like,
exactly. I cannot wait for that, Shannon. Oh my god.
Oh my god, yes.
I have extremely high expectations for it, because I would say starting with season 8 and all the way through now, every time Dean and Cass have a talk, it's firstly really meaningful and secondly really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like in season 8, every major talk Dean and Cass had was brilliantly written and like super significant.
And the thing is, the actors always knock it out of the park, and it just, and I just, oh yes, it's just gonna be so good, and I'm just, the thing is, I kind of want to. The thing is, I'm kind of intrigued to see how Cass has been living as well, because he's kind of been obviously he's had times to kind of adapt, because he's obviously hunting in a way because he's going to ask for Dean's help. So is he hunting? Is he being a hunter Cass? I really want Hunter Cass before he gets some of his powers back. I want kick-ass Cass, because obviously he might not be a really good human, like yet, but I'm sure he would still kick your ass, because he clearly stabbed that angel in the bus. I really want some Bamf Cass, and I can't wait for Bamf Cass, and maybe I want actually. Is it really bad that I really want maybe possibly a bit of antagonism between Dean and Cass? Like maybe a bit of, not to the point that they're falling out, but a bit of like digs at each other, because Cass has agreed that he's been bunked at the thing, and Dean's probably still got all these issues about Cass leaving him, even though this latest time it's Dean that's actually pushing him away. I want these little bites at each other, because then that something's there between them, because if you're going to snipe like that at each other, you're clearly like kind of liking each other kind of thing. It brings
people
a bit
who
of
love
attention.
each other fight each other. That just happens.
Guys, figuring out your freaking feelings for each other. It's this long fucking process, and then there's the whole communicating thing. It's like they're clearly, it's like, to someone who interprets the show like I do, they're in the middle of that process, and it can get confusing as hell. And I'm really like hopeful and enjoying the fact that they're trying to have them communicate those feelings for each other, and they seriously started it in season 8, like very solidly.
Maybe not like the point of no return antagonism. No. Actually, yes, because that means kind of bull one slamming and then could at least snog.
As for what Pat said, yes, Carver apparently did hand me Shannon, stating that he was acting like a jilted lover. We don't know if it's going to be episode 6 necessarily, or just
you would presume so, though, wouldn't you?
Episodes.
You would presume so, because you would presume that it would be this episode, because it makes more sense, because obviously Cass has been kicked out the bunker, and this is the first time that he's going to see Dean since then. So the whole jilted lover would make sense, unless Dean does something at the end of this episode to kind of say to Cass that he still can't come back, kind of thing, or something along those lines,
Yeah, we just need to, it's so frustrating sometimes, because most of these situations are just a wait and see.
Yeah. Anyways, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to have to nip away because I'm needing the bathroom. I'm sorry.
Free to pee, Gemma.
I'm free to pee. It's the first time. It's the first time I've ever needed to go to the toilet live on air, so I'm sorry, guys. But you guys all talk. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, and as far as the note is concerned, we don't really know what has been said on it or over the course of what episodes, but we'll probably pick it up though if it starts happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it would kind of make sense if they were moving towards that direction, or just simply, I don't know. Because, as I mentioned, Cass is starting to get into his emotions, and this might cause everything. Because he was an angel for so long, his reactions were those of an angel's.
Yep, and it's like, guys, I don't believe anything they have done in this season so far in any way goes, against the CL ever-going canon. As in, nothing has been done that could actively in any way prevent it.
Yeah.
And I mean, nothing. Not the sex, because, oh, come on. Literally, even if, I don't know, Cass went and got a girlfriend that would it would do nothing to stop them from ever doing things because there are so many complicated factors. Like for example, Cass gives no fucks about sexual orientation, but he starts being human in a society where he sees that since he's a dude, he's expected to get a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like I'm bisexual. For so many years, I could not identify my feelings for girls because everyone around me was telling me that I was supposed to get a boyfriend because that's what a girl does, while my feelings for girls, they must be different.
Oh, Silven, I know that pain. Because I am you, and the society's view over here is not a favorable one. So it took so long.
It's like, I've known I'm bisexual all my life, but now I'm 24, and it's only right now that I'm starting to questioning it and starting to think that I might be actually homoromantic while being bisexual because it's complicated, and it's like
The thing is,
but I think with a lot of things with Cass is people weren't necessarily annoyed that Castiel could have gotten a female sort of romance before she got to Dean. A lot of people were just annoyed because of how they portrayed him entering a sexual relationship and how he saw his sexuality. Like one of the worst things that. I still think one of the worst things about the entire episode was Cass's discovery of boobs.
Oh my god, Shannon.
That
I just
zoom into
cringed.
boobs.
Are we talking about 9-3 again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I pretty terrible by actually not being super annoyed by it because I saw Cass and I was like, oh my god, that's literally what my face does?
Yeah,
Elle
has face. Guys. Shannon, shut up.
Shut up! I want to
The
talk.
tweet.
No,
Robbie's tweet.
Because look, it's been coming on the chat, but yes, Robbie Thompson did say on Twitter that just because Cass slept with a woman does not mean that he's strictly heterosexual. That he could, have sex with other people. There you go.
Yeah, and the scene that Shannon.
Sorry, Shannon.
When Shannon mentioned that, I just remember that my mom was she doesn't normally voice out her thoughts on whenever we watch a new episode. And after that scene, my mom just looked away for a bit and just asked, was that really necessary? It was the most hilarious thing ever to me.
It's just
the boob scene.
Shannon, what did you think of the boobs?
Yeah.
Oh, what did I think of the boobs, like, in general? Like,
were they nice?
You know what? Honestly, I have a lot of respect for the woman because she did have some really nice boobs, and she was not afraid to show them off.
Yeah,
and I mean, I just wish that they didn't make it so awkward.
Like zoom.
I
pan, zoom in slow mo. Look at those boobies.
What would Misha have thought?
Just to see, I think, and this is what I wanted to get at, sorry, Gemma, but, we see the food, and then we see him looking at those boobs, and then he just turns his head sideways, and you can see him sort of start to cry, and I was just wondering if that was Misha's reaction to the scene.
The direction, yeah. Misha, I want you to look at this woman's boobs, and then clearly this guy who's not got one sexist bone in his body is going, why?
Oh my god. It just, oh
god. Honestly, my opinion might be terribly unpopular. Like, I am not stoked about the fact that they had to, have Cass looking at boobs as a scene in the first place. But I found that the way, not the particular way they did it, but that setting they used for it was probably, for me, the least annoying because it was very obvious that with the closing in particular, that the boobs were kind of, basically, looking at that, my first reaction thought was oh, that woman is a sex worker, so she's dressed like that because, she wants to, she is selling sex, basically, and that her body is kind of she is intentionally dressing up like that for it to be checked out for her clients to decide whether they want to have sex with her or not. Which I was like, okay, the fact that they had him look at boobs in that situation is less annoying than if they had him look at boobs of just like any random woman who is obviously not doing anything like that.
Yeah,
in that sense, it's not as bad.
And the look on his face was just
like that. Imagine if it was.
He was overwhelmed, I think, by everything, wasn't he? He was just really overwhelmed at that point about.
He was more confused rather.
Yeah, but like, imagine if it was like any other woman. Yeah, it is good that he was good. It's not an idea. Trope to use. It's not awesome, but in the way that they did, I guess it's not like the worst or anything.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that bothers me about the entire thing was just, first of all, the way the camera seemed to zoom and pan in. You were forced. It was a very forced thing that you had to see. The entire thing. It was like they were forcing the readers. I'm thinking, why did I say readers? They were forcing the viewers to sort of just be like, yes, this is Cass noticing boobs. These are boobs. These are Cass noticing boobs. Look at them. Look at this scene. Look at this.
To be honest, what they should have done, really, to make it better, I'm not sure how you could have made this better, is to have Cass then check out some guy's ass. I'm sorry, equal opportunities here. If you're gonna do that, have him check out someone's ass as well, or at least have somebody, a guy with no top on. So like, why? Like more a case of why are these people dressed like this? Why is that? What? Like if it's gonna be so overwhelming to have people walking down the street with their cleavage out, it would also be in the same argument that would be quite overwhelming to have a guy with no top on who is physically attractive. You know. Not for the sexual attraction point, but just the overwhelmness of seeing so many different people in so many different situations kind of coming around.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like the only reason that a lot of stuff wasn't touched on in Cass's sexuality-wise was because, first of all, we had that shitty-ass director. I really hope this is the only episode of Supernatural he ever directs in his entire life, because I honestly, if I ever find out he's directing another episode, I'm not watching that episode, because I swear, if he pan and zooms in on another part of the female anatomy, I'm going to hit him in the face.
Shannon, I love your, I just love that you resort to violence. It's just like, I will slap your face, I will do this, and I want you, I'm like, I just love it. I just love you so much. Just doing that.
Yes, indeed.
The passion.
I can't deal with stupid people doing stupid things. I think if you're a stupid person and you're going to go out and you're going to do something stupid, then you deserve to get a beat down.
I'm sorry, how many times did you say stupid in that sentence?
A stupid amount of times.
I love you, Shannon.
Yes.
Look at me being nice to Satan.
I can't.
It's a supernatural fandom. Why would you not be nice to Satan?
He's normally quite nasty to me, Shannon, but he's been quite nice to me this week, so I'm quite impressed.
I don't have it in me to be overtly mean to anyone this week. I've had a stressful week.
Oh, so he's not actually just being nice to us, it's just because he can't be bothered to be nasty. Anyways,
and my final say on everything is that, just everything.
Danny.
No, I'm going to give you my final say on how I think this entire season is. This is me. I think this season is going to not be as good as season 8 because there are two sides of different extremes. Season 8 was very fragmented, but it was fragmented in a way that was good for the plot. Like the writers knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Season 9, you can tell the writers are divided, and the episodes are fragmented, and you can tell quality and not quality. And I feel like that's going to make season 9 really suffer because we started out with 2 really good episodes, then we got 2 really shitty episodes, then we got a really shitty episode, a good episode, and then we got another really shitty episode. And it really bothers me how well you can tell now between these
the
writers.
two factions, and I mean, Guys, just to let you know, we're going to be finishing in about 5 minutes because our colleagues on Profit Radio will be starting. I think, I'm not sure if we're going to have a little bit of a break between us and them. We're going to have about a 10-minute break. But please stay tuned for Profit Hour because there's some really interesting conversation points going to be going on there.
Yes, it's going
and yeah, that's a good point. When is Dab going to come up again? I like Dab. I like him and I miss him. And yeah, I agree with Shannon. You can clearly tell that there's two kind of like it almost feels like there's two kind of plots kind of going along here. There's like those being written by the people who shouldn't really be writing Supernatural. And yes, and those who should be writing Supernatural. But I do have a lot of faith because at the end of the day, as much as all we have these stupid writers, we have Carver at the helm, and he's the one that's going to be making the decisions. And that's one reason to stay hopeful is that Carver's, at the helm of the ship. Pun used.
Carver is a supporter. I believe that.
And actually, at one time, I used to think Robert Singer wasn't really a big supporter, and maybe he's not the biggest supporter, but I think he sees the sense of it, and obviously he's a good storyteller, and he wouldn't. He if he really wasn't happy about it, he would have put a stop to it a long time ago. So I think he recognises it, and I think obviously he's had the good episodes, and he's a good director, and he knows Sam and Dean, and he knows the characters, and he knows Cass. So I think the two guys that are in charge, Carver and Singer, and obviously the two actors, if something's going to happen, only those four people will know.
Yeah. And also, I have to say, though, about the good episodes and about the crappy episodes, I do still believe that the latest episode came out of the writing room as a much better idea than it ended up being of an episode.
It definitely did.
I believe that the voice acting screwed it up, that some of the directing...
It would have been so much better with different voice actors. You would have been able to take it so much seriously. I agree with that, Silven.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm really hoping that fans are going to watch the episodes that count and the episodes that are well written.
Yeah. I really hope that the ratings start going up from this week's episode and obviously up to the Christmas break, and
because they've still got pretty good ratings this season.
Yeah, but they've dipped it. Yeah, compared from last season, they are still high, but they've dipped a bit in the last couple of episodes. But that's clearly, I hope that is really clearly a hint to the writers.
I think, that's the thing. I think that after season 9, because I feel like right now, since they've had writers like Ben Edlund leave, it's sort of, I feel like this is kind of an experimental season.
Yeah, and it's.
So I'm pretty sure that they're looking at who is strong and who is not strong. So I'm really hoping that next season we're going to get more strong, plotty episodes written by the stronger writers.
Well, the thing is,
I'm pretty sure it's going to show them.
If you look back to when Kripke left, and there was a little bit of, obviously season 6 was, it was all right, and the thing is, there's going to be these teething little problems when somebody as great as Edlund leaves, and I think Edlund did have a lot of input in season 8, and but he trained his little Padawans well, so I'm sure.
The thing is, experimentation isn't bad because it can lead you to making mistakes, but it can also lead you to figuring really good stuff out. And there have been numerous episodes in Supernatural which could have been complete disasters, but that came out really well.
Yeah, Tiger Lily.
It's natural that sometimes he'll take a risky idea like this that it won't turn out as well, and that's okay.
Maple will be back, guys. Just so you know, Maple will be back. And I think she's going to be back next week. I'm really sorry if I haven't been very good at all.
You're great.
So Tiger Lily, Maple will be back, and I apologise for the technical difficulties at the beginning. And this is my first time as being Maple. I hope I've done Maple proud. I'm now revealing that I was actually Maple. And
actually, we didn't. For once, we didn't have that many technical difficulties as much as us going over each other for the intros.
I was basically saying my Benny comment. Yeah, he's dead, but what should stay dead has not really been the comic and theme of Supernatural, considering how many times, how many times has people been killed in Supernatural and then brought back. That's all I'm going to say, is that Benny could come back. Means Ty Olsen.
Yeah, as opposed to, he doesn't have the luxury to go by no wings, no proof, but it was a bit shady how they ended.
He could have killed those other people in purgatory. Yes, we're going to have to go. We're going to have to go. Anyways, we love you and we'll see you next week. I'll probably be back in 2 weeks. And all these guys will be back on... Shannon, are you on Wednesday?
I don't know.
You don't know. Well, come and tune in on Wednesday for an hour and keep it online now. Just give us 10 minutes and we'll get Profit Hour up and running. So thanks guys for listening.
Profit Hour.
And enjoy 9/6 and we'll see you soon.
Okay.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.